Hello, everyone. This is Star with Aaron and Star's Square Table Family. We are so grateful that you've joined us tonight to watch this show, whatever you want to call it, that we do. We talk about controversial things, but you may not like some of the things that we talk about, and then again, you may like it. You may agree, you may disagree, but that's the beauty of living in the United States of America. We have that freedom of speech, and in being able to share our opinions, and Lord knows Aaron has them, so do I, and so do you. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Leave a like or a dislike, subscribe, because it really helps us with our algorithms, and it helps us to be able to build better for the things that you would like to hear, to see. So join us tonight. Thank you again, and God bless.
No, Apollo's being a poop.
He's being a poop.
Being a poop.
As long as you don't poop in the house.
He's jumping up on the floors and shaking the walls.
Is he excited?
Here,
I think he's excited to have his new home. Oh yeah, you better do that.
you know, because I'm all alone in my house, and Fauci says it's important because we don't know what kind of stuff we can catch on the internet. There's all kinds of viruses on the internet.
Yes, there are.
You gotta keep yourself safe, y'all. Keep yourself
I know
safe.
some people that I think are viruses on the internet.
Like Schumer, Fauci, Pelosi's eyebrows are they're like weeds. They keep growing and growing and growing. Psaki?
Yeah.
Dude, she's so lost in the sauce. I don't even think she knows anything.
I don't think she does either.
He's always like, I'm going to circle back around on that. Can you tell us why they're saying this? Well, you know, we're doing that. And the president's never said that. And they clip to an image where he actually said it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're on top of it, girl. How did you keep your job?
Welcome everybody back to the Square Family Table of Aaron and Star. How you doing tonight, Aaron?
Oh yeah. Running.
Yes, running.
It was a long freaking day. We finally got some warm weather though.
Yep.
I went out and nurseryed some bushes and some roses. They're sitting on my front porch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been it was 50 here today and yesterday also. It's just been really, really nice. And I've been enjoying it, and my body has been enjoying it. It's good stuff.
We got 5 inches of snow.
Yeah.
This is the first day like it's been decent. Well, yesterday was decent. It was like 50 degrees yesterday, and it was like 50 degrees today.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good because I was stuck in my house all weekend because it was too icy and nobody was driving anywhere.
Yeah. So did you guys get hit as hard as the eastern states on the other side?
I don't know how much they got. But we got between 6 and 7 inches. And I know they shut like everything down.
Oh, they always do. But it's because
they get an inch of snow out here and they're like, we're all going to die.
Well, it's
empty the shelves at the Walmart because we need to get some groceries just in case.
It's always milk and bread. Always. I don't know what they're going to do with it.
And cheese.
I guess
always milk,
sandwiches. Bread,
and cheese. I got the milk and the bread and the cheese. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to be okay.
We don't have no power, but we're all right.
That's right.
We got the milk and the bread and the cheese.
We got the milk, the bread, and the cheese. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna
and
have some soggy cheese sandwiches.
I met a man yesterday that he is a former firefighter. He was born in, I think he said he was born and raised in California, but he's traveled all over the United States fighting forest fires. And now his body is just beat to hell. And you know how that feels.
Well, when you fight
war.
a fire, and you know,
Yeah.
I would assume
And
there's going to be some damage there.
oh yeah, yeah. But he was I thanked him for his work and his service, you know, to our country and trying to protect it from the fires. And he was just a really nice man. I'm not going to say his last name, but his first name is Richard. If
Richard
you're watching,
Gere?
No, not Richard Gere, Richard W.
Oh.
I will say that. But Richard, if you're watching, if you ever see this show, thank you for what you did yesterday. And thank you for what you've done for the country. Yesterday, I had to take my little boy Gunner, my little guy here. Come here, bud. He went to the vet over in Buffalo, Wyoming. Say hi, Gunner. Hi. He's a good little boy.
He's a little rodent.
What's that?
He looks like a little rodent.
Yes, he's my little rat dog. He's a Chihuahua pug, a chug.
He's a chug.
He's a chug. But anyway,
chugga.
He went to the vet yesterday and he got his teeth cleaned. And we had to drop him off at 8, and they said, okay, you know, he'll be ready after 3. So I'm thinking, man, I don't want to drive all the way back over to Sheridan. I had a friend with me, and so we decided to just drive around, and we went driving out in the country, out of town. And you got to realize right now, we don't have as much snow at this particular time of the year that we usually do. And it is unseasonably warm. So anyway, we went driving south of Buffalo and ended up at Crazy Woman Canyon. And I thought, okay, if we get there, there's lots of snow, I'm not going to attempt it. Because I've seen it in the canyon before. It was way up over my car. There was no way that you'd be able to get up in there. We got to the mouth of the canyon, and the road has been traveled. It was great. We're going up the canyon, beautiful drive, the pine trees, you know, just being out in nature by the creek. And it's just, it was just so, it fed my soul. You know what I'm talking about? Those people that like to be outside, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I needed to get out, and I needed that. So we're driving along, and yes, it's snowy, but it was good going all along the way until we got about a mile from Highway 16 where we were supposed to be at. Hit this little incline, and the sun had been shining on that snow and melted it to ice on top, and underneath it was snow. So we start going up this incline, and then pretty soon all I'm doing is spinning all 4 tires because my Honda is an all-wheel drive vehicle. So we're spinning, and I stopped, you know, and I'm doing everything right. I'm going, you know, start off slow and see, you know, try to get that traction going without spinning. And we did okay for a little bit, and then it stopped and started sliding backwards down the hill. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, I don't want to end up in the creek. I don't want to end up.
I think I can.
I think I can. I said
the
that for about an hour.
Chugwawa wasn't any help.
I said that for about an hour. Anyway, long story short, we ended up sliding into the ditch. Hey, Apollo.
He's such an attention whore.
He is. He's just like his daddy.
Give me some love.
So we ended up sliding off in the ditch. The snow is up over the front tire and over the back tire, up underneath the carriage. The snow is packed around the motor. I tried everything to get out of there. Couldn't do it. So for an hour, we tried getting out of there. So I went walking up to Highway 16, thinking if I can get up there, I can find somebody to pull us out. So I walked up there. There's several vehicles where they've got their snowmobiles and they're off snowmobiling. There was another vehicle, a little side by side, and I went up to them and I was like, man, I'm so glad to see you guys. Is there any way I could get you guys to help me pull me out? And they were like, well, we got a flat. We're waiting for help ourselves. It's like, oh man. So about that time, another truck pulls in and he just stops right beside of me. I didn't wave him down. I must have had the persona in my face and in my body actions that said, I need help. Because he just stopped right there, you know, and he was like, hey, how are you? Do you need something? I was like, yes, I do. This was Mr. Richard W. And so I told him what was going on. I hopped into the truck with him. We went down there. He had us pulled out in a couple of minutes and up the road we went. That was my adventure. Every time I go out, it is an adventure. I said all of that to say this. Richard said that he is really worried about our mountains this year and worried about a lot of places in this area because this is there were bald spots on the mountains where there's no snow. It's just dry and it's brown. And if we don't get any snow up on the mountain, we're really in danger of water shortages. We're in for the ranches around here, for their cattle, for their sheep, for their horses, for crops that are growing, and not to mention the wildfires. That's where he was coming from. He said, I've seen this before, you know, in California, and we see how California does. It burns up every year. And so anyway, that was my adventure yesterday, meeting Mr. Richard and getting stuck in the snow. And I gotta like take my car now and have it realigned.
Damsel in distress.
The damsel in distress. This lesbian couldn't get us out. I was trying my best.
I'm sitting here like trying to moisten my throat. I'm like,
that's why I have my
right in the middle of your freaking story, and I was like, man, I forgot my water.
My beverage.
It's a clear bottle today.
Best show ever.
If you listen to my bottle, you can hear the ocean. Wah.
I hear the truck getting to the ocean.
It's a steamer. It's a steamer.
So anyway, that was my adventure yesterday.
Well, that's exciting. I have not had anything exciting. I mean, my life is boring, and aside from dealing with the VA, which is a fucking joke, and I'm not talking about my clinic. I'm talking about the VA claim shit.
Yeah.
And they're a joke. They're just a joke. And moving into the new house, and you know, trying to get things set up. A lot of time it's just been, you know, overwhelmed with chaos. And, well, I mean, today was the first day I actually had an evening to myself where, you know, I didn't have to unpack a box or clean up whatever mess Apollo made, because he's in a new place and he's like, this is mine. I'm going to do what I want.
He's so cute, though. He's so sweet.
He's my little bastard baby. I love him. Love him.
Do you like my lights?
The blue, yeah. You should have wore a different color shirt though.
But I like blue.
I know, but you're kind of invisible. All we see is a face. Ooh. You give me fever. Fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me down.
Is that better?
Fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
I'm glad that I can be the cause of your illness.
It's COVID.
It's got to be COVID.
If I have a fever, it has to be COVID.
Are you?
I have to polish it.
Do I need to come down there and help you get your house?
My
in,
horse.
Your
What
horse.
do you think? I'm running a brothel?
Well, you never know with you. But you know,
Who knows? I'm gonna open up a halfway house for a bunch of hookers.
I'll come be your enforcer.
Yeah, right. You're gonna be my cook pimp.
Yep.
You'd be the best little whorehouse in Missouri.
That's right. Get them bitches to work. Bitches and hoes. Bitches and hoes.
Yeah, but we've been gone a while. So much shit has happened since the last time we did an episode.
Yeah, the last one we did was on the classic movies and TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
love some movies. I was talking to my brother, and he really loves watching these episodes, and he was complaining at me, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen an episode in a while." And I was like, "Well, I bought a house, Star's been going through stuff, so we really just had to get our stuff together so that we could, put a show together." And I said, "We want a quality show. We don't want to just rush things through."
right.
And I'm like, "Go watch the show we just did." I was like, "It's on classic, movies and TV." And he's like, "I thought your show was nothing but political." And I was like, somehow it always rotates back to
it is
politics.
Whatever is in the air that day.
Right. So it's like my house is haunted. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Pretty sure my house is haunted. And somehow that'll become a political.
Yeah, that's true.
The ghost in my house is extreme liberal, and I talk about Donald Trump, and they slam doors.
Throw dishes out of the cabinets.
Right. My Pioneer Woman dishes are now chipped. Damn it.
The lights start flickering.
But my neighbors sure do get an eyeful. I'm pretty sure, because I don't have curtains yet. And
oh wow.
I have these huge windows.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. My ceilings are like 9 feet high, and my windows are maybe a good 6 feet tall. And
did you get the Victorian?
7.
Did you get a Victorian house like you somewhat wanted?
No.
Okay.
I got an arts and crafts, but it's a starter. It's a starter. 1917, but it's a starter.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I'll buy my Victorian later. I'll get a Queen Anne in the future. I have time, unless the world explodes. Then then I'm just gonna have to steal one. But I'll squat.
Yeah.
Like, this is mine now. It's the end of the world. Try to kick me out. Come on.
So, how are your holidays?
Which holidays?
Well, I know you had Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And did you celebrate Christmas?
And New Year's?
And New Year's?
Yeah. They were good.
Mine too.
Didn't do anything, and it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
Actually, mostly because I focused all my energy on, I think I walked through 400 million houses before I chose this one.
Yeah, I know. Every time I'd get a text from you, it'd be a long list of pictures of your homes.
Yeah.
That you're
what do you think about
at.
this one?
It's like, I love it. Aaron, they all look alike. Just get one.
We looked at one. Oh my God. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was these high ceilings, beautiful hardwood floors, original to the house. An open concept to the living room to the kitchen. The bathroom was like a murder closet.
Okay. How
and
so?
Then it was like, it was scary. It's like, it was like a murder closet. I don't know how else to describe that. The bathtub was all rusted out, and the toilet was like half broke or cracked, and it was like someone had tried to put some kind of sealant in there to keep it from falling completely apart, and there was like barely a sink.
Kind of like a crackhead bedroom? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and the floors were falling through. And I was like, well, I mean, a bathroom isn't too extreme to have to remodel. I mean, I think I could handle that. And the rooms are really good size. And then I was like, well, where's the boiler for the water heater, and where's the furnace for the heat and the air conditioning? And they're like, oh, if you open up that closet. And I'm like, okay. So I opened up this broom closet, and it was like a murder hole. It was like a cellar door that you had to It was like a 700-year-old root cellar.
Did they have skeletons in their closet?
I didn't.
Were they
I
ready
didn't
to
look.
come out of the closet?
I could barely fit in that damn thing. And my sister-in-law was like, do you want me to come down there? Because you're kind of broken. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure only one person will fit, and I barely fit. I was like, and if one of us ends up dead, someone has to go tell the story, like that he died in the murder basement at this house. So, I mean, it was really bad. I was like, yeah, no. If I have to go check the water heater, I'm not going in the murder basement, because I guarantee I'll find a body, because that's my luck. I'd be like, oh, look, a skull. And then I have to report it to the coroner, and they'd be like, well, there's 15 other bodies down here. Turns out this house used to belong to Ted Bundy's cousin, Richard Bundy.
You would never get any sleep.
Ever. Never. Oh my God. So I have to tell you, my sister Natasha is pregnant.
Okay.
And,
Congratulations, Natasha.
Yeah. Congrats, Tosh. Congrats. Good job.
Way to go. You'll have to tell us how you did that sometime.
Way to home run that.
Knocked it right out of the park.
So, yeah, I told her, I was like, oh God, you're pregnant. She goes, no, I'm not. Don't say that. And I was like, yeah, you're fucking pregnant. And it's a boy. You don't know that. You don't know that. She went to the doctor. Sure enough, she's fucking pregnant. She just got the sex, and it's a boy. And she's like, I'm pregnant. And it's a boy. I was like, I told you that. Why are you telling me? Is there a fucking repeat in the room? Kinda. I'm blue, wombo, beam, boom. That's what your screen is reminding me of right now. I'm blue, wombo, beam, I live in a blue house with a blue door and a. Yeah.
I like the it just relaxes me. This is my favorite color. Blue. This color of blue is my favorite color.
Maybe I should just put a green light on my entire back wall, and
you could.
That's my favorite color. Green is I'm green.
But it relaxes me. Like red. I bought a house one time that had a room in it that had kind of a burnt red, reddish orange. It was just nasty. Anyway, I walked into this room. This whole room was red. And immediately I felt myself getting frustrated and anxious and angry.
Was there words on the window that read,
no,
red rum?
No. It had stained glass. It was an old Victorian, had stained glass on the tops.
It was a whorehouse. I guarantee it was a whorehouse.
Probably. Apparently, these people had painted this room that color to relax in. So that must have been their color, but it was not mine. Yeah. So anyway, we got rid of that color real fast. But this is my relaxing color. At night, I like it. I turn all the lights off in the house, and I just have these on, and it relaxes me. It actually brings my heart rate down. It makes me feel good.
I just do this.
Aaron.
That's my relaxation right there.
There you go. There you go.
All you can see is the reflection of my camera on my glasses. That's it. That's all you see.
Yeah.
Apollo's like, is it bedtime? Is it time?
Not yet, Apollo.
Is it that time? I thought it was time for bed. Let's go to bed. He's like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. I know where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's how I relax. I just turn off all the fucking lights.
Yeah. So what, did you get together with your family over the holidays?
Yeah. We did a small get together. We had dinner for Christmas, and I didn't really do much for Hanukkah. I mean, when you're the only Jew around,
yeah,
there's not a whole lot. Speaking of Jew, what the hell was up with Whoopi Goldberg on The View?
She was just being Whoopi, I guess.
Being Whoopi, I never known.
She shouldn't have been that way, though.
That
was pretty. Well, she's getting a lot of flack from it. That's for sure.
Good.
And she needs
I hope she does, and I hope she learns her fucking lesson.
Yeah. She needs to, but a lot of the others do too. The thing is it's like the extreme far left liberals think that they can say anything they want, but nobody else can. We have
Well,
to.
it kind of reminds me of the whole disability conundrum, you know, like Whoopi Goldberg said, it was white people against white people, but to Jewish people, we are a race. We are a multicolored race. We're not just white people. We're black people and brown people and green people and purple people and red people, whatever.
And polka dotted people.
Yeah, people with spots and stripes and.
I've got spots. I've got spots.
I don't fucking know what else. Tie dye. Some of us look like Jackson Pollock paintings. But we're a race of people. We're the. I mean, it's like the liberation hate organizations are like, yeah, the Nazis were like, they're going to get rid of an inferior race, and they chose the Jews. Now, it wasn't just the Jews that were being murdered. There was millions of other people as well, but 6 million Jews were killed for the simple fact that they were Jewish.
And that is a hell of a lot of people. 6 million. I mean, what, New York City has what, 8 million people in it?
Something like that.
Okay, so 6 million people.
Just Jews.
Yeah, of just Jews. And
that's just Jews. It doesn't count the Slavs. It didn't count the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons. It didn't count the black people. It didn't count homosexuals. It didn't count political rivals. It didn't count undesirables. In the beginning, in the early 30s, it didn't count the Polish who were murdered and killed because they were killing the Poles before they started killing the Jews.
And those with mental health issues and so on and so on.
Disabled. I mean, we're talking millions and millions and millions and millions of people. But the Jews were the ones that were sought after as an inferior race. Just because a group of us have white skin doesn't take away from the fact that we are a race of people.
Right.
So, yeah, I think Whoopi and it shocked me so much because I've always been a fan of Whoopi Goldberg. I've always loved her. She's a fantastic actress. I think she used to do these Broadway shows, you know, where it was just Whoopi on Broadway, and some of the characters she brought to her shows really gave you viewpoints into different factions of life, not just the black person. She gave you viewpoints into different factions of life, and she played many different kinds of people. And one of those, Trayvon, who was one of my favorites, is the pot smoking, laid back dude. One of the stories she tells is how she ended up in the Anne Frank house and was just baffled by it, and the anger she felt when she came out of the Anne Frank house, and there was a giant billboard above the door, and it said, "Despite everything, I still think there's good in people." And she was extremely angry, and then she read the author of the quote, and it was Anne Frank, and she's like, well, if this 13-year-old 14-year-old girl can find grace and humanity even after all these terrible things, and so can I. And I've always respected Whoopi because of that, because it didn't matter. And even if she didn't agree with you politically, and I've seen this from Whoopi Goldberg, which is why I'm so shocked and saddened that she would go to this extreme, is when people protested outside The View, because she was, when Trump was president, because she was speaking ill about Donald Trump, people were protesting. She didn't go to her car screaming and flipping people off. She went over and had dialogue with these individuals. She talked to them, and she didn't chastise them because they had a different political opinion than she did. She talked to them in a manner that was respectful and on their level. And she's like, I don't agree with that, but I respect you. And for her to go and say and do these things on The View, and I hope to God she's learned her lesson, but I don't think that half-assed apology that she did, because right afterwards she went to the Colbert Report and and some words were exchanged there as well. And it just seemed very half-assed to me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me play devil's advocate for a little bit. Do you think, because I know one of the apologies that she gave was she didn't mean for it to come out the way that it came out. Do you think that she just misspoke? And,
I mean,
you know, because I've
I would
done
call
that.
that a Freudian slip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand when she was talking about, you know, growing up in her life, the idealism of race was based on the color of her skin, right? And I understand that. I can stand on her side of the court and see why she would think that way, but she knows better.
Mm-hmm.
She knows better. She has been an advocate for the stopping and the slowing down of anti-Semitism because she has such a love for the Jewish people. I mean, her last name is Goldberg,
Mm-hmm.
but she made that as a joke on the Colbert show, you know, and Colbert's like, well, you're the only person I know called Goldberg that's called anti-Semitic. Well, you know, that's a terrible thing to say. That's, to me, that was taking light of what she did, because the sad reality is if you ask kids today what the Holocaust was, they can't tell you.
Right.
If you ask them how many Jews were killed during the Holocaust, they can't tell you. We've got kids who are on the Twitter doing dance videos on top of Holocaust memorials because they just don't understand. Mm-hmm. So I don't think, I mean, I get it, play devil's advocate, but I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I think it was a Freudian slip. Mm-hmm. I think because the anti-Semitism has risen so much in the world lately, especially with the kidnappings and the people being held hostages and the shootings at the temples and the synagogues in Texas and, mm-hmm. and what was it, Alabama or Mississippi? And that's taking away from the Black community and their cry for you know, solidarity or whatever. Oh, we're being bullied by the police and it's because we're Black, and we're not being taken serious because we're Black. And Candace Owens is making us look at our own indiscrepancies and facing the reality that, you know, the Democrat Party is not who we thought they were, and it's not, it hasn't changed.
Right.
But it's time that people started to wake up and realize that there's more to this world than just the Black issues, that there's more hate and discontent on people, not just Black people. You know, tell me how many cemeteries are being defaced because it's a Black cemetery, but daily Jewish cemeteries are being destroyed and bodies are having to be re-identified to place headstone.
Why do you think there is so much anti-Semitism and hate?
I think it's I mean, if we think anthropologically, it's become the social norm of a lot of, I don't want to say cultures, but the anti-Semitism has been around a long, long, long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm not just saying going all the way back to slavery in Egypt, but we're talking about like the Bolsheviks, we're talking the Hungarian massacres, we're talking, I mean, the Jewish history is weaved with sorrow. It's the sadness and devastation that comes with being a Jewish person and living in the Jewish culture, whether that's Orthodox, non-Orthodox, Reform, it doesn't matter the level of your cultural engulfment of the Jewish people. If you're a Jew, you're a Jew. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And people don't see that. And one of the misconceptions is, well, if you look at a Jewish person, you can't tell they're a Jewish person. That's not true. I mean, the stereotypes of Jewish men are terrible. The stereotypes of Jewish women are terrible. But the stereotypes are always the same. We have large noses. And why? Because air is free. You know, that's the joke. Um, it's just something that we've lived with our whole lives. Our entire culture has been walking hand in hand with tragedy, and that's something that the Jewish people, I think, have shown a great resilience that other people have not. Yes, the Holocaust, which was what, 80 years now? I mean, we're talking 30s, 70s, 60s, almost 90 years.
Yeah.
Since the 30s, when the Jewish people were first being ostracized and segregated and persecuted just for the sole fact that they were Jewish.
Right.
And I'm seeing that repeat in the rhetoric, and it's not just with the Jewish people, it's with the unvaxxed. And it saddens me because I go to this clinic, and I'm a gay male, so and I'm not a very sexually active gay male, but I still take PrEP. I do the HIV preventative. I'm a gay male, and I'm exposed to all kinds of things, and I would rather be safe than sorry. At this clinic, I cannot wait inside. I have to wait outside because I'm not vaccinated. But I can't get a flu shot. So if I can't get a flu shot, I'm definitely not going to get the COVID.
Right.
But because of that specific fact that I'm unvaccinated, I'm not permitted in the building. And when we have people on television, people in power telling everybody that the unvaxxed are dangerous, that they're filthy, and that they're going to kill a lot of people, is the exact same thing that happened to the Jewish people in the 30s and the 40s in Eastern Europe. Because that's how they made a social norm out of it. They were saying the Jews carried typhus and that we carried cholera and we were filthy and we just spread disease wherever we go, which is why they had to separate the communities. There was a Jewish community and then there was a Gentile community. And then it went from the Jewish community to a ghetto because typhus was rampant. And you know, it saddens me that that's how it is, but if people talk about wanting to get rid of hate, then get rid of hate. Don't talk about who has more hate in their culture or who's been hated the most, because I guarantee you, hands down, the Jews will win every time. If we're talking timelines here, the Jews will win every time, because we're looking at 4,000 years of hatred and you know, we were at one point a very large and proud people, and not that we're not proud people, but we were very large. We were a large populated people. We are now the smallest populated race on the planet Earth. I think there's some like 40 million Jews in the world or something like that. The last time I checked, this was years ago. I mean, we made up less than 4% of the world's population. And being such a small populated group of individuals, group of people, we're the most recognized and the most hated than any other group on the planet Earth. And that's terrible to me. And Whoopi Goldberg knows this. She knows this. So where's the excuse? Why? I mean, I get it. You've experienced racism in your life, and then that's terrible. I am truly, truly sorry that happens to people, because I have experienced anti-Semitism, and I know how degrading and embarrassing and lonely that can make you feel. But at the same time, degrading another person, degrading another culture, and downplaying the struggle that they have experienced doesn't help anybody.
Right.
I think white people experience racism all the time, but I don't downplay it because I'm Jewish. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
White people, I feel terrible for the white community, and it's not because white privilege or that crap. It's because they have to watch more of what they say, what they do, what they write, what they listen to, who they affiliate themselves with than any other group of people in the world. Because one mishap, one person in your circle, in your group, does something that is unacceptable to somebody else, you are now all chastised. If you're a group of 4 people and you're always together and one person in that group starts saying racial slurs, everybody in that group is deemed racist.
Right.
Even if it's just the one person. And that, I feel terrible for that. Why don't they get recognized for the hate and discrimination? You know, they can be called crackers and honkies, and not one word is said. Not one word. But the moment that a white person calls a black person a derogatory name, or a Hispanic person a derogatory name, or an Asian a derogatory name, or a Jew, or a Native American, or whatever, whoever else that isn't white, they are racist. But anybody else can call them whatever they want. How is that fair? Well, we want equality. Well, you can't have equality without taking it from somebody else. So it's okay for you to do it, but it's not okay for other people to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I do.
I know we went from talking about our holidays to this like blow up of Whoopi Goldberg and the anti-Semitic bullshit.
Well, you know, that is how our that's how the show goes, and that's usually how it goes around your dinner table, our square table. You know, you talk about anything and everything. You air things out. You brought up
Joe Rogan earlier today, and they're trying to cancel him, and I think it's the same thing, that because if he was a black male, right? If he was a black male, they would leave him alone.
Yeah.
Unless he was a conservative like Candace Owens.
Right.
But if he was a black male, they'd leave him alone. But because he's not a black male, he's a white man with his white privilege and his white backers and his white this and his white that and his 10 acres and a fucking mule that he's throwing in everybody's face. Now they're wanting to cancel him.
Yeah.
But I think it's great that people are supporting him. You know, people are pulling off of Spotify.
Right.
They're pulling all their music. Country music singers are pulling all of their music off of Spotify. It's, Jordan Peterson's the same way. Yeah. He is a white man who has a factual opinion. And because no one wants to hear his facts, he's a white man. He's not a woman. So his facts have no merit. Therefore, he's a racist, a fascist, and an anti-feminist. And he's transphobic, right? Because he's white. But if he was a transgender, making the comments about the gender work gap and what gender is, and Ben Shapiro, the same way. The man is an Orthodox Jew, and he's called anti-Semitic. He's called a fascist.
Uh-huh. I know. It just blows the mind. It's like, why? Where are you getting this from?
I mean, it just, it's just stupid. I don't know. It drives me insane. And everybody's talking about, there's going to be war. There's going to be a war. Joe Biden doesn't even know where the fuck he is. He has no idea.
That's true.
You really think we're going to end up in a war when that motherfucker doesn't even know where he is? He sits at a podium and goes, "Where am I? Why am I here?
Where's the bathroom?"
I was ahead of my class, and I was a forerunner. I played basketball.
Don't forget, he talked about his hairy legs. He's got very hairy legs.
Right. The kids touch my hairy legs. Like, it's like if Shaquille O'Neal had a massive brain injury and just completely lost it. I was waiting. I'd like to think the people are coming. Why am I here? What am I doing? Why
are you?
Play basketball. I'll do commercials. Yeah, I mean, just fucking ridiculous. Did you see his I think it was his Christmas message. He's like, I'm Joe Biden's wife. I was like, how's that work?
Talking about Joe Biden and the fact that, yeah, they are talking about possibly going to war with Russia. They're coming up. Here comes.
Do they even know where that is?
U.S.
I
And
guarantee you, if Joe Biden tried to invade Russia, he'd end up in the Ukraine.
yeah.
They'd go, oops.
Well, anyway, there is that talk. There is talk of war. And so what if we do go to war with Russia? I don't want to go to war with Russia. They're a big military force to be dealt with. We are too, though. But that does mean lives lost. That does mean all the things that it means with war that comes for your nation and for other nations.
Yeah.
And we just got out of a 20-year war. We just got out.
I just don't see it happening. Because the president can't just say we're going to war.
Oh, I know.
He has to have congressional approval.
Yeah.
And I don't think Congress is going to be like, yeah, let's do it.
I don't know. I think
because the moment we go to war with Russia, China's going to jump in the game and go, well, I'm going to help out Russia.
Yeah. And then there's North Korea that have been practicing their missiles and so on and so on. Well, and they're along the same lines.
The true threat is no longer in office. The crazy freaking Cheeto man who has no problem pushing a button and saying, I'll blow your shit up if you don't do as I say.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've got Sleepy Joe, who has no idea who he even is, who any of these world leaders are. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've been friends for years. And he's like, oh, that's great. Oh, okay. Yeah, we used to have slumber parties, remember? No, I don't, but okay.
You want to touch my hairy legs?
Right. Get in the swimming pool, let you touch my hair and legs.
Oh gosh, I cannot get that out of my head. Sorry, folks.
Lord, he's so nasty. He's like, can I smell? What shampoo do you use?
All those times when he'd smell those.
Is that Tresemme?
Oh my gosh. And he'd smell those little girls and put his hands on their waist and their arms and
oh, Calgon, take me away. Yeah. It's what it is.
It is.
I just don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening.
Well, I think if it does happen, it's not going to be him necessarily making the decision. Like you said, Congress has to agree to it. But I seriously think that there's people back. He's just out there for looks. There's other people running the show.
I agree. I think it's like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been dead for a while, and they've got a guy with a freaking puppet behind him. They're like, Jeff Dunham, what are you doing for this 4 years? He's like, making Joe Biden talk. Then we're going to add him to my Vegas show.
Oh, that would be great. That would be awesome. I love Jeff Dunham. I think he's a phenomenal entertainer.
Well, what do you think about the hike in the economy?
I think it's ridiculous, personally.
Well, according to the Biden-Harris administration, it's never been this high.
Well, I've heard that. Unemployment
our economy
is at an all-time high.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, and our economy is at an all-time low.
50% of people, and I read the statistic, 50% of people under 30 are still at home, living with their parents, and do not have a job, and have no intention of getting a job.
God, I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah. I must have did it wrong too. I was out of the house when I was 18. If you're
watching this, I'm moving in. I'm not going to get a job.
I'll have to wait until I get to the other side to live with my mom and dad again, but
Sadly, your kids will show up at your door. Mom, I watched your show. Guess what? I'm moving in and I quit my job.
but yeah, I mean, that blew my mind when I read that 50% of people 30 and under
Well,
are at
because
home.
you get more benefits on unemployment.
Yeah, and
than
they
you
have
are
no
with an actual
intention
job.
of getting a job. And when you ask them that, why should I? Why should I?
Well, and so then there's the other side of that coin, which I think Elon Musk is doing a fantastic job with kind of adjusting to it, but people aren't returning to work because they have learned that they can do these jobs from home.
Right.
And why would you go sit in a cubicle for 9 hours a day if you could just do it at home? It works just fine doing it at home. Go do it at home.
Yeah, you can do everything at home and in your
People
pajamas.
would just embrace that fact that you can do it at home, then do it at home, but at least you're working.
Right.
But the majority of these government programs are, all you have to do is literally say, yeah, I look for a job, and you didn't. They're like, oh, okay, well, here's $800 a week.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
You wonder why the inflation rate is so high.
It's ridiculous. Like I said, it is ridiculous. You know, a lot of people talk about the oil pipeline and everything that was coming from Alaska. It went across native land. Joe Biden put a stop to everything that Trump was trying to do. And ever since then, jobs have been going down.
But I don't think it's just him.
No,
I mean,
no, it's not just him, but I'm just saying.
But look
that
what
I believe
Trudeau's
that
doing
started,
to his own fucking people.
we
And
were
he
on-
left.
Yeah, we were on a good path, though. We were on a good path financially.
Well, we
People
were
were
on
getting
a, yeah, we
jobs.
were on a
Businesses
rising
were
incline. It was
surviving.
great.
But
Stocks were high. Dow Jones was high. They're like, Dow Jones isn't important. We shouldn't be looking at Dow. Nancy Pelosi with her eyebrows up in her fucking forehead. Dow Jones isn't important. Insider trading should be allowed by those of Congress because it is a free market. We should allow all members of Congress to do insider trading because it's a free market. But if you, normal Joe citizen, tries to do insider trading, you're going to prison. Like it's fucking ridiculous. And these mandates, nobody has any fucking clue what's going on with this COVID mandate bullshit.
oh, I know. It's
The
ridiculous.
CDC finally came out and made a statement. I don't know if you heard about it, but the numbers of COVID cases in hospitals have risen exponentially in the last several months, right? I think it's like 8,000 more cases or 80,000. I don't fucking know, something like that. But the majority of those cases were atypical, and they weren't even in the hospital for the asymptomatic COVID that they had because they were in a car accident and they had to go to the hospital, or they broke their arm and they had to go to the hospital, or they bumped their head and had a concussion and had to go to the hospital, and they're like, oh, well, you're in the hospital because of COVID. No, I'm not.
Yeah, right.
Like, I went to the hospital, I had a bleed in my upper digestive system, and I went to the hospital and they're like, well, this is COVID. No, you don't bleed with COVID. I'm bleeding from my mouth. Like, unless you can show me another patient who bleeds like this from the nose and the mouth.
How the hell did they get COVID out of a bleed?
Because I had a fever,
GI?
but I also had an infection because apparently, I mean, I'd been bleeding for 6 days straight. I was dying. I had no blood in me left. And I finally went to the hospital because you know how I am, Star. I'm a fucking wait to the last minute kind of guy. I'm like, I'm fine. I'll drink some water and take an Advil. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But then when I couldn't think anymore and I was like, where am I? I was like, maybe I should go see somebody.
Yeah.
So went to the hospital, and the first thing the guy said was, yeah, I got to test you for COVID. No, I'm not here for COVID. I'm here because I'm bleeding. Now, unless all of a sudden COVID has turned into a blood thing, I'm not getting tested for COVID.
Right.
And they're like, well, we have to test everybody, but I'm not symptomatic. I'm not even asymptomatic. So, no.
Right.
But that's what they wanted to do. And in so many cases, the majority, I'll even be brave enough to say the majority of cases of asymptomatic COVID in hospitals right now were because they were there for other reasons. They, I don't know, they fucking stuck their finger in their nose too far and touched their brain, or broke their arm, or farted sideways and their leg fell off. I don't fucking know. But the moment they got there, they took their temperature and they shoved a Q-tip up their fucking nose, and they're like, "Oh, you're asymptomatic for COVID, and everybody's gonna die because of you." And then I also love the. Have you seen these make you feel bad for not wanting the vaccine videos?
Yes.
People are like, "I regret not getting the vaccine," dying in a hospital.
Yeah,
the worst thing is
I've seen those, and I'm like, oh my
doctors,
God, the fear mongering is just.
the TikTok doctors who get on there and they're like, "You're an idiot if you don't get a vaccine." That's your fucking opinion, dude. These doctors are suing because they found that these booster shots are designed to stop your cancer-fighting T cells from working.
And it does. I know a guy. And he has cancer. I cannot remember what kind it is, but lymphoma. That's cancer. Right? That's, yeah. Okay. Anyway, he's got that cancer, and he was encouraged by his physician to get the vaccines. He didn't want to, but he did. And when he got the vaccines, he was, I think, one of 4 people that there's an enzyme in his body that fought this cancer and was winning. Now, in the world, it's very rare. And it was fighting that cancer, and it was winning his enzymes, his own personal enzymes in his body. When he got the vaccine, it killed those enzymes, and his cancer came back. He was free from cancer. His cancer came back, and now he's having to go through chemo and radiation.
Yeah, that's terrible. And these doctors are suing because of that, because they're not telling the public this is a possibility.
Yeah.
Well, it's safe, but okay. So you tell me one medication that is safe for every single person on the planet without issues.
I'm gonna post this, but more than likely it's going to
it'll get cut down because we're talking about COVID, and
right. Because we don't have the right. We're not medical professionals. No, we're not medical. I'm not a medical professional. But I'll tell you what, I can look around and see with my own eyes and observe the stuff that's going on, and the stuff that it scares the shit out of me, or what our country is doing, and what we're letting them do.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're sitting here going, "God told us."
Yeah, I know it.
The vaccine is the end of time. It is the mark of the beast.
There are some that say that, and that is scary too.
You must not take the mark of the beast. No, we're not saying that.
No, we're not. We're not saying
literally using logic and common sense. And I trust these doctors.
And free speech and
I don't
all
trust
that
the
good stuff.
Yeah, that are making millions of dollars off of these vaccines.
Yeah.
I trust the doctors that have no financial merit in it. They're not gaining anything by telling you to do it, and they're not gaining anything by telling you that it's not okay. I've held the same opinion the entire time. We've talked about it before. I'm never ever going to tell somebody that they should or should not do something. I'm going to tell them that they need to do the research. They need to make the right choice for them.
Yes.
And what is the right choice for their health and their history, because we are not the same. There's no medication that is 100% for everybody. And unless, if you can find me that medication, take this video down.
Yeah.
I will gladly let you block this video, take it down, whatever. Because there's no such thing. Our bodies just don't work the same as everybody else's bodies, and we metabolize differently. Yes, you may have the same diseases, syndromes, disorders, whatever, but even in those cases, you are still not the same. Like, I have Marfan syndrome. I metabolize like 4 billion times faster than anybody else, but I could metabolize slower than another Marfan's patient, or another Marfan's patient may not metabolize at all. because we are not the same. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
For those that don't know,
take it down, they take it down.
For those that don't know, what is Marfan's?
So Marfan syndrome is a connective tissue disease. So your body is made up of 40% connective tissue, and Marfan's breaks down those tissues. There's different physicalities to it. Hypermobility, stretchy. You're very stretchy. You're a flexible person. Crowding of the teeth, which leads to tooth rot, as you can see. But crowding of the teeth, the lenses of the eyes tear and start to detach. Really long fingers that can do really weird things. Really long toes. And there's a chromosome 15 deficiency, but not everybody carries the same. The thing about Marfan's is it's excruciatingly rare. And if there was a better way to diagnose it, I think more people would have it and there would be more research into it. I mean, there are organizations, there's the American Marfan's Association and the Canadian Marfan's Association, but there's just not a lot because two Marfans are not the same. Like I have a friend who has Marfan syndrome. We met on the American Marfan's Association page, and she's like 5'8". I'm 6'4". Marfan's is also known as Giant's disease, and I'm 6'4", and she's 5'8", and she has Marfan syndrome. So I mean, and then there's another one called Ehlers-Down syndrome, and it's pretty much the same thing, but we all don't have the same. Like I have the aortic root dilation. I do have the chromosome 15 deficiency, but I know Marfs. We call ourselves Marfs because we're gang, man. We're gang. We're Marfs.
You're such a Marf.
I know I'm a Marf. But I know Marfs who don't have the chromosome 15 deficiency and still has Marfan syndrome. So it's just it's very rare. About one, and I think it's like 1 in 300,000 births are accurately diagnosed with Marfan's. And usually it's a preliminary diagnosis as a child, and then they have to wait until you get older to see if I don't want to say symptoms, but more characteristics become impacted, like the high palate, have a very high palate, things like that. So.
Well, and that's, I didn't know all of that. I knew some of it from being friends with you and knowing you for so long. But, I know that there's a lot of people that they don't know what it is. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we're Marfs.
Thank you for sharing your disease.
You're welcome. Maybe it'll become the new pandemic. There was actually a movie that just came out, and I can't remember if it came out on Netflix. And I don't remember the name of the movie, but it's a musical, and it's literally about the life of Jonathan Larson, who was the composer, writer, and lyricist of the musical Rent. And this movie is his life, and he had Marfan syndrome. He died of an aortic root dilation. It had dissected, and he died that way, and he had Marfan syndrome. So yeah, a lot of famous people have been believed to have Marfan syndrome. Abraham Lincoln was believed to have Marfan syndrome. Let's see, Andre the Giant. I mean, there's some. Me. Yeah. But I'm not believed to. I have it.
Yeah. Right. You feel like what?
On a happier topic.
I do too.
So.
Should we talk about Pelosi's eyebrows some more?
Oh my God.
Does she paint them on, or is it from the
I think she draws them. I think she draws them. But if they get any higher, they're going to have their own fucking zip code, and she's not going to be able to claim them on her taxes anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know President Biden has had plastic surgery, because when you saw him in one thing, he looked like he has always looked, and then when you saw him running for president, he was, all of that.
Thank you for voting for me for Senate. You're running for president. Oh, that's right. I'm Barbara Walters. No, you're not. Oh.
Well, Aaron, I think it's about time to call this show for the night and for the day, whenever that you guys are watching.
I wish you farewell.
Please subscribe and like us. It does help us out with our algorithms, and it just helps us out.
Subscribe. Like us and leave a comment. Tell your friends to join our cult.
Yes. Join us.
Join us.
As we jump off the deep end.
Join us.
Bye, everybody. Right. Thank you. Bye, Aaron.
I love your face. Good night, y'all.
Love you too. Bye-bye.